What up, yo? Yeah, well, I was just talking to the. When I was doing my last video, um, Scott called. The one who likes doing the, comments, so. And Scott, he pushed the wrong fucking button with me today, pal.
Mr. Johnson. Please enter your PIN. Welcome to the messaging service. You have one new voice message
La 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 la.
At 11:38 a.m. Yeah, this is Scott in Manhattan. 11:37. I guess you haven't gotten your fat ass out of bed yet. Either that or the pollution from the Cleveland air maybe strangled you and you fell unconscious somewhere. Anyway, give me a call when you get a chance. Talk to you soon. Bye. To repeat, press 1. To save, press 2. Saving message.
So I will call you, Scott.
Well?
Hey, Scott, don't worry. I got my fat ass out of bed, and don't worry. The air quality.
I think you just fucking woke up 2 minutes ago and thought you had a message on your phone.
No, I've been out for a while, and don't worry about the air quality either. Don't
worry about New York air quality? I'm not worried about New York air quality. I'm worried about what you have to deal with.
Now, why are you calling me fat ass and shit like that?
I'm just playing with you. Don't be so sensitive.
You got me on the wrong day there, pal.
Are you having a bad day?
Yeah, well, geez, I mean, you've been busting my balls about how big I am and shit. Lately, it's not a good day to be busting my balls.
Why not?
I'm having a bad day today.
I'm having a bad day, too. You want me to tell you why I'm having a bad day first?
Sure, go ahead.
Well, remember I told you, I had to go pick up my wife, from her test?
Yeah?
Well, unfortunately, she didn't pass. So I'm, really pissed off about it. It's the reason why she didn't pass is not because she doesn't know the questions or anything, but she's a perfectionist, and she can't stand to get something wrong on a test. And it was a 4-hour time test, 200 questions, and it's medical. It's a nurse practitioner board certification test. So they're very, very complex, difficult questions. But the problem is they give you so many goddamn questions, 200 questions. So you only get about an hour and 15 seconds per question, and it's not there's a lot of information you have to read, and you can't sort of dwell on the questions. You really have to just quickly read it and come up with a fast answer and move on to the next question. But she generally takes tests slowly because she's very she's Korean, and she's meticulous and stuff. She's a perfectionist, and she can't stand to get something wrong. So she fucking ran out of time, and she left 25% of the questions unanswered. She only got to about the 150th question, and she had to do 200. So, she failed. She basically she needed 350 out of 500, or about 70%. But unfortunately, if you miss 25% of the questions, the best you could possibly get would be a 75. And nobody's going to get, 1 or 2 answers wrong on a very intensive medical exam if they've already done 300 questions. So she studied months and stuff for this test, and it's very expensive. Every time you fucking take this test, $275. And, she basically has to wait a minimum of 2 months, 60 days before she retakes the test. So basically, our summer is pretty much fucked up and ruined because instead of just sort of running around and playing and having a good time every fucking day, she has to, when she's not working, she has to study for this fucking test again, which she already, I guarantee, if she, if it was not a timed test, she would have gotten a 90 or something. I mean, the score that she got, based on the questions that, even though she didn't do 1/4 of the questions, she still probably, based on the score she actually got, she was doing about 90% correct, which is way above the 70. I mean, she could get 70%, with her, eyes blindfolded if she just hurried the fuck up. So, she didn't take the test the right way, and now she's going to have to, take it again in a couple of months. And, of course, she has to study hard because there's so much information. I mean, she's reading 800-page books, several, studying hours a day for this goddamn test. And now she's going to have to fucking do it again. So I'm pretty fucking pissed off. You know what I mean? This is pretty much going to fuck up my entire summer. So why are you having a bad day?
No, I had kind of arguing with my, the guy that did my surgery, or my surgeon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because,
So you had a meeting with him yesterday?
Oh, I called him this morning, at 8:30 this morning.
Uh-huh.
And,
what happened? Did you kind of, when you called him, you're like, I'm going to fucking, lay into this motherfucker? Or was it something you said in the middle of the conversation? Or he was just, too busy to talk to you and had one of those kind of, fuck you, you're nothing, I'm a fucking doctor, I don't have time to waste on you? What was the sort of, what provoked it?
well, because when I talk to surgeons and shit, I mean, I've kind of grown up over the years. I used to be like the fuck you don't know what the fuck you're talking about type deal.
Mm-hmm.
But now, since I'm a little older and a little bit more mature, I know you probably can't tell by my videos, but
I can't, I was about to say, especially listening to that horrible one with Brittany, between her husband farting and references to shit, mud, whatever the hell you guys call it, I couldn't tell.
ass mud.
Ass mud, thank you.
Yeah,
I'll definitely add it to my lexicon of language.
Yeah, but when it comes to, because I worked in the medical field for a long time, and I know when, to talk professional, and when to just say, act like a total fucking doofus.
Mm-hmm.
And, because what happened was, during my surgery, they couldn't keep my, oxygen levels up in my blood and everything, so they had to put down some, breathing tubes.
So you suffered brain damage? I kind of suspected as much. I had my suspicions, but I wasn't sure. I didn't want to bring it up, but I'm glad you did. I'm kidding. I'm fucking with you.
And
I'm just a funny guy. I think my humor is just a little too sophisticated for you. If I could throw in some more fart sounds, maybe some vomit noises, I think you'd probably get it better.
oh, I forgot, you're from Manhattan. You guys are the sophisticated of sort, with a higher IQ.
We actually have something called a French restaurant.
No
They
shit.
don't have them in your area.
Of course not. Well, I wouldn't want to, if I wanted to eat some fucking snails and fucking frog legs, I would go down yonder to the creek, and I would fry me up some fucking snails and some fucking big old toads sauteed in some fucking butter and garlic.
Whatever's coming out, those polluted lakes you got around your area, probably the fish have 5 heads, and the frogs have 14 legs on them.
Hey, more for your money.
You ever see The Toxic Avenger?
Yeah, that was filmed in Manhattan, wasn't it?
Actually, I don't know. I'd have to Google that. But since you mentioned it, or actually I kind of mentioned it, I actually saw the off-Broadway production, and I went to opening night. And you know who the producer of the off-Broadway show was?
Who's that?
The keyboardist from Bon Jovi.
Oh, so
Are you
you
a Bon Jovi fan?
no, they suck.
I know you rock the 80s hairdo.
No, the Bon Jovi sucks ass.
Like, what else is Dave Bryan, I think is his name? Yeah, Dave Bryan. Bryan, something like that. He's one of the guys at Bon Jovi. So, like, I went to, like, the premiere, and, like, he was there and stuff. It wasn't very fancy. We got, like, Subway sandwiches and soda. But, you know, he was there. We got to take pictures with him and stuff. But it's funny because I took my son, and my son was, like, you know, 6 or 7. It's probably about 8, 9 years old. And we took one of his friends. And, you know, they were excited because I was like, oh, it's with Bon Jovi, it's a famous group. So they were running around calling this guy Bon Jovi. Well, you know, he's in Bon Jovi, but his name's not Bon Jovi. So that was kind of funny. He was kind of like looking at us like, you know, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm. I tell you what,
I don't think any of the wildlife is safe to eat in your area. You got enough things to fight through just to get through life in the Cleveland area, since you don't want to say you live in Cleveland. Let's just say the Cleveland. How far are you out of Cleveland? How many miles?
About 40. I'm about an hour away.
No, I'm fucking lazy to look up on a map. You're still like Cleveland area or Cleveland vicinity.
Yeah, fucking. Yes.
You got enough things just to get through life living in that area. You don't need to eat the wildlife. I never saw anything on a New York store shelf that said made in Cleveland.
No, of course not, because you guys are the cesspool of fucking America. You know, like the garbage fucking dump.
That's not true, but you know, in a way.
Yes, we're from Manhattan, and my friend Foo and her dog Tutu has to go down to the local knockoff store next to the off-Broadway production of Hairspray and get something that's made in Korea or China.
You obviously haven't been to New York in a while, because Hairspray hasn't been on Broadway in, like, I don't know, 6 years.
Who would really want to go to New York?
Everyone I met in Cleveland acted like I was a celebrity. I fucking went to the Cleveland Zoo because there's nothing else to do in fucking Cleveland. I was like, what are we going to do? We got an extra day in this shithole. And unfortunately, we can't change our flight. So how the hell are we going to spend our day? So I was like, well, every city has a zoo. I bet Cleveland does. So we went to the Cleveland Zoo by taxi because I'm too afraid to walk around the street there. And we fucking got there. And I think about 1/3 of the patrons were like Amish. And like I was buying, you know, some drinks or hot dogs, because I think that's pretty much all they sell in Cleveland. And you know, from the concession stand. And there was like this, you know, sweet little Caucasian girl without makeup, and which you'd never see in New York. And you know, I kind of ordered something, and you could tell my accent is very exotic. It's, you know, obviously not Cleveland. And so she asked, where are you from? And I said, New York. And she said, are you from New York City? And I'm like, yeah. And she said, wow, why are you here? And I'm like, I've been asking myself the same thing since I got here. And she's like, wow, I really want to go to New York. I bet it's really great there. And I'm like, yeah, you should definitely check it out. And I was telling my wife, my God, this woman needs to get out. So actually, like, when I met a lot of people in Cleveland, they almost treated me like I was a rock star being from New York. So I think there is a sort of an appreciation for New York in your area.
Okay, keep on thinking that.
Just for calling you, because I'm from New York.
See, you're calling me.
I know, you should be thanking me. That's what I said.
Yeah, hell, maybe I should make
New York are calling you.
Yeah, maybe I should make a video for Wendy Williams and to get on there to thank all the people that live in New York.
Well, I don't know if Wendy Williams is crazy enough to ever do a show in Cleveland. I don't know anyone who is. So I don't think there'll really be an impetus to do so. crime series being based in Cleveland, not actually filmed there. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of raw material, but I'm sure that there's no, like, studios and stuff in Cleveland.
No, because they want to be where the real action is, like in New York, where all the crime out that way.
I think the crime rate per capita is way higher in Cleveland than it is in New York. Are you kidding me? Isn't Cleveland, like, always in, like, the top 5 most dangerous cities? New York is never even in the top 20. Although that could change because we have a shitty-ass mayor, Bill de Blasio, who basically wants to make it legal for black people to kill cops. So that, I think it will change, and within a few years, Cleveland will be considered the Switzerland of America compared to New York. New York will really be like that film Escape from New York or something out of a fucking Mad Max movie. Because Bill de Blasio is a fucking idiot. And, you know, they've got like the no frisk policy because they say it's racist. But actually what it's doing is more black people are being killed. And more innocent people are being killed in the crossfire because of all these kind of strand bullets. So New York is actually, when New York was under Bloomberg, and especially when it was under Giuliani, New York was safe. You know, you could pretty much, you know, walk around and stuff wherever you wanted to go and shit. You'd feel safe whenever. And things are definitely changing for the worse. You got a fucking lousy mayor. You know, it's liberals run this city, and they're just fucking sticking it into the motherfucking ground. And, you know, I gotta tell you, like, New York City has a lot of great things to offer, especially in terms of, like, you know, culture, art, entertainment, and whatnot. You know, great dining, but it's becoming fucking dangerous. It's definitely deteriorating because the mayor basically wants to allow black people to kill cops. Doesn't like black people running around committing crimes, and they don't want them to be incarcerated. He's got like a black-white, half-black kids. And, you know, basically is doing everything he can to, like, spread white guilt. And, you know, basically, it's just crazy what's going on because, you know, there's a real sense of lawlessness here. And, there's crime is always being underreported by black people. And it's just, you know, it gets to a point where if I fucking see a couple of black people, and I'm walking around at night, I'm fucking going across the street to go walk in another direction. Because you fucking never know. You never heard of, like, what do they call it? The knockout clubs and shit like that?
Mm-hmm.
You never know. You can be fucking walking down the street minding your business, and some punk punches you in the back of your head, you know, as part of a fucking game.
And you're bitching about Cleveland?
Well, they do that shit in Cleveland, too. It's not just New York. That shit is like is a kind of a national sort of phenomenon. I think it's a little bit dying down and hasn't been reported as much, but Cleveland still is way more dangerous than New York. Way more dangerous.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you think.
We're catching up. We are catching up.
That's right, Rockstar.
I'm hoping some fucking day I want to leave this fucking city. I want to move to South Beach. I want to move to Miami area. My father's got a place down there. But the thing is, I have a co-op. And my apartment is worth like a fucking $1 million. But I can't sell it because it's a co-op. And basically we have shares in the apartment complex. But if we leave, you know, basically, when my parents moved into this fucking place, they paid a couple $1,000 back in the early 1970s. I'd get about $30,000, but if this place goes private, which we would basically, you know, need like 2/3 of the votes, and we almost had it, we didn't quite get there. I'd be able to sell this place probably between $1 and $1.5 million. So am I about to fucking walk away from $1.5 million? Fuck no. So I'm kind of stuck here. Remember what I told you my wife's doing? She's doing adult primary geriatric. Why do you think she's doing geriatric?
Because all the baby boomers are getting old.
No, because if we have an opportunity to move to Florida, we're going to move the fuck down there, and where do all the baby boomers move?
Not New York. Oh!
Neither. Not Cleveland. They moved to Florida, right?
Yeah.
That's why I want to go to Florida. It's fucking heaven there. Nice little pristine Jewish gated community. That's my dream.
Why, are you Jewish?
Ethnically, yes, but I'm not actually like a practicing. You know what I mean? But yeah, ethnically I am. But I wasn't bar mitzvahed, and I don't mind spending other people's money. I don't like spending my own money so much, but yeah. But non-practicing. But tell me probably your doctor's Jewish, right?
No.
What's your doctor's name?
His name is Dr. Verdon.
Who? What?
Yeah, it's not a Jewish name.
That's why your arm's all fucked up now. If you got a Jewish doctor, the guy would have done it right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, I would only go. My wife works at a Jewish hospital. She's Korean. I'm telling you, if I had surgery or something like that, I would only go to a Jewish doctor or an Asian doctor. I wouldn't go to anyone else. Remember what I told you I do for a living?
I forgot.
I do something?
Remind me.
I'm a substitute teacher. You know what a substitute teacher does, right?
No.
I fill in.
Really, I don't know that with my Ohio, with my low IQ and everything.
Well, so I explained it to you. Anyway, so what happens is, I get an assignment, maybe it might be 3 days or 2 days or just 1 day, and I'll go to all the different schools throughout the city. And sometimes I'll go to I'll be in classes for really smart kids, like SB classes, sometimes academic, sometimes emotional needy classes, special ed. Sometimes some of the really good schools, the famous schools, like the specialized schools or regular schools or schools in bad areas. And I could tell you, I think I told you this before, like just my son, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
His school, he goes to a very large school. And even in his class, 8th grade, there are probably 12 different classes. There's 3 SP classes or 3 or 4 SP classes, which are for gifted and talented. And then there's maybe 7 classes for just regular academic, just normal kids. And then there's 2 or 3 special ed classes for, kids with disabilities. Okay?
Okay.
And every year the SP classes, they're kind of mixed with, you don't have the same kids in your class. They'll have the different SP kids mixed into different classes every year. And my son's class is 90% Asian. His whole class, you know how many black people are in his class? 1. Just a coincidence? You know what the black population is in New York City?
I have no idea.
About 22%. You know what the white population, you know what the Asian population is in New York City?
I have no idea.
It's about 12%. So blacks outnumber Asians in New York City pretty much 2 to 1. Nationally, it's almost equal. Blacks and Asians are about 10, 11% of the population, but in New York City, 2 to 1 blacks outnumber Asians. But my son's class, SP, Special Progress Class, is 90% Asian. Is it a coincidence? Is it because we're holding them back? Come on. But just let me know. So what happened with your doctor? Why did you got this big fight?
Well, because I told them, after they put those tubes on my fucking throat or whatever, I can't really taste that good. And
What? Not good? What?
Yeah, they did something where I can't really taste food that good.
Oh, taste food. Okay, I think it's taste. Okay.
And he's like, well, sometimes it happens. It should go away. And it's like, well, how long does it normally, go away? And he's like, well, it just depends. I'm like, oh. what can I do to help, move it along? Oh, there's nothing you can do. So we went at it for, a long time and everything and everything. And it's just like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm a big guy.
Did you like lose your shit on him?
Do what? No, I didn't lose my shit on him, but I was talking very sternly to him. I mean, I didn't swear nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't think that probably is going to work out for you, but, I probably would have handled it differently. Because if you need to call this guy again, he could fucking tell his secretary, put you on hold, tell him, I'm not here, I'll call him back, and then he's not going to fucking call you back, or he'll call you back, whenever he fucking feels like it, 2 years from today.
Yeah, but
I got a lot of doctors in my family. Unfortunately, I'm not as smart as they are, and I'm a lot lazier than most of them. I got a lot. I mean, my father's father, my grandfather, was a doctor, and my uncle's a doctor. I mean, my father's a lawyer, but he actually did a year of medical school at Columbia undergraduate, pre-med, but he didn't like to study, so he switched to sociology, I think. But there are actually a lot of doctors, and actually, like, I have some that are a lot of PhDs, even one in nuclear physics from Yale. But, I got a lot of doctors, a lot of history of doctors in my family. And, I know their sort of personality and stuff, and, I mean, even like my dad's cousin, my dad's like two of his cousins who he's close with, because my father got there in Florida, they're doctors, and, like one of them has three children, two of them are doctors. I mean, there's doctors fucking everywhere. Married into doctors and stuff. Anytime my father's like in his 70s, and everybody has to get a procedure and shit. You know what they do when they tell you like, oh, yeah, we'll get your test back to you. You'll get it back in a week, or you'll get it back in 5 days, or some shit like that. My father finds out that day because he knows people pretty much who work as doctors in pretty much every fucking hospital that will give you the information. They can, they can call up so and so, and they can go online and get the scores, or they can kind of call the lab and find out directly when you or I couldn't. So it's very, very valuable to have doctors on your side. And if you piss them off and they're not going to be very accessible to you, it's not going to work in your interest, because you're never going to have the power over them.
I just go to.
Unless, if you think the guy is fucked up or something, and you can get a lawyer and you want to sue or something, that's another story. But these doctors, they pretty much got you by the balls, not the other way around. And if you kind of come across as being aggressive with them and stuff, then they're just not going to deal with you.
Oh, I could reverse that. I don't have to deal with them. I can go to a different doctor. I don't give a shit.
Well, I mean, you could, but this guy's the one that did the procedure. This guy's the one that would be most informed about your case and what you're doing. I mean, it makes sense, get the continuation of care. But, I think you want to be a little extra careful when you're talking to your doctor. You don't want to alienate him or upset him, because, doctors are someone you really kind of need.
Yeah, but when it comes to my body and my health, and if something's fucked up, I have every fucking right to know about my body.
Yeah, but I mean, doctors, they think of them, they're generally busy, and they don't got that much time to talk, and when, they're very sensitive when someone is questioning them or being condescending to them and stuff, it's pretty easy to just get on their bad side, and once you're on their bad side, it's just not going to have anything to do with you. I mean, like, I have this one for a doctor in my family. I have several, but this one who was very, very successful. He lives in Florida. My father plays golf with him, and he has very few friends. Like, his name's Eddie. He retired like quite a while ago, maybe about 15 years ago. Labor and delivery doctor. very successful. I mean, made millions and millions of dollars. She has fucking season tickets to all the Miami-based sports teams. And I'm not talking about sitting in the upper levels. This guy sits like front row or second or third row. Like, he took me to a couple of Miami Heat games, once before LeBron, and then he took me again when LeBron was playing for them. He sits courtside. Okay? These tickets are like, $1,500 a ticket. Like, the first time he took me, it was like $600, and then after LeBron came, it was like $1,500 a ticket, okay? And this guy's like, he doesn't give a shit about me, not interested in me, or, whatever. But, he's close with my father, because my father plays golf with him all the time. And he kind of looks at me, he's got like two doctors and a lawyer for his children. And they're all married to, successful people. So as far as he's concerned, I'm pretty much a fuck up. He doesn't really have anything to do with me. But, I'm a relative and stuff. So, and he knows I like the sports and shit. So, he'll take me and stuff. And, I know his person. He's a very cold kind of person. He's the kind of person that is very guarded and stuff. And, I used to always see him, like, when I was a kid and shit, and he'd, like, meet us for dinner. And it would be, there'd be like a family group and stuff. And his people would go off. He'd have to go to the hospital. He'd just like throw his credit card on the table and say it's on me to buy. That was, how the way he was. Like I would say probably 75% of the fucking time, like we used to go out when I was a kid. And he joined us. Like he would just have to leave in the middle to go to work, as a labor and delivery doctor. But so incredibly successful. And so the first time he took me, he kind of showed up late, and he didn't really want to talk to me very much. I think his kind of wife kind of sort of talked him into taking me and stuff. And he didn't, really want to talk to me and stuff. And, but when I did, I kind of broke the ice. We got there, and, he's like, I'm going to go up to the bathroom. Do you want me to get you something to eat? Is there anything you want? And I was like, no, that's fine. But later on, what I did was, when I went to the bathroom, I got him, like, fucking sushi and shit, because I know he's not going to eat a fucking hot dog. So I got some, like, sushi, and I got him, like, a bottle of wine and stuff, and I came back, and he was, like, so impressed by that. He really changed his behavior to me. So, you just have to know who you're dealing with. And I'm not telling you, go buy your doctor some fucking wine, but I'm telling you, if you, he might have some assumptions about you or something, and doctors are very judgmental, but if you don't know how to handle this guy, it's going to work against you. And now it's like, I'll see him at these family functions, like, hey, next time you come to Miami, let me know, I'll take you to a game, this or that. Because he likes me, and he enjoys, talking to me, and he doesn't, even though I'm not really fucking working very much, I'm not successful like his fucking kid, he actually likes me, and, his wife isn't like begging him to fucking take me to a sporting event, he's happy to do it. So, you get more that way. I mean, like my father, right? He's like an incredibly smart guy, he's a successful lawyer, went to Harvard, and you can't argue with him. I mean, I'll say something and he'll, he doesn't agree and he'll fucking let me have it, you know what I mean? And if I go back and forth, it's just going to become a big fucking fight and it's just not worth it because I'm never going to convince him otherwise. And, I'm just better off just like shut up and just, let it pass. Because, I'm not going to change his mind and it could just potentially blow up and get ugly. And that's not in my best interest.
Right.
I mean, they're all for, things and stuff. My father, I told my son, I keep telling my son that the doctor made a lot of money, that he needs some of it. And, he's like, I want to be more like grandpa. I know you got to be a doctor, before you got to be alive. And, he's the one, I was just there, I can talk like the insurance there. Get into a discussion with Grandpa about some social and political issues. Take a different side of Grandpa and convince him that you're right. If you can do that, then maybe I'll let you go ahead and become a lawyer. He's like, oh, I can do it. It's no problem. Like, no one's ever got Grandpa to change his mind about anything. If you can do it, then you definitely have what it takes to be a lawyer. Because my father's fucking, like, unbelievable about, like, talking to people and convincing them and, amazing. I mean, I could tell you some, like, epic stories about it, but, why bore you? But my advice to you is, you want to tread very carefully when you're talking to doctors, especially one that you really need. I mean, if it's like some, emergency care thing and the guy, like, fixes a boo-boo and then you're never going to fucking see him again, you can just go off on him and say, fuck you, motherfucker, you're doing a piece of shit, you don't know what the fuck you're doing, whatever. That's the reason you're working in the ER. Fine, whatever, you don't have to see that guy again. But the guy who you're going to for the maintenance of your, like, shoulder, who is going to be sending out the referrals. Maybe this guy'd be like, oh, fuck that guy, Jason. That guy's a motherfucker. I'm not going to write any referrals for physical therapy. You're better off getting this guy on your good side. So, that's my advice. You don't have to take it, but that's my advice.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I gotta say, I saw that video that, like, Brittany made. I think you both were simultaneously. Are you taping this one or not?
No.
That's too bad because I think you would have won an Academy Award because I'm just totally carrying it. But I saw the one with, like, Brittany, and I think it was like you both recorded the same conversation, but you're talking about, like, cleaning a fucking tank with turtles in it or something, and you put, like, 3 comments on it, and I don't think anyone else bothers to look at it, but because you kind of promoted it on your video, I said, well, I'll fucking check it out, and I gotta tell you, like, it was a real honor. She just doesn't have your intrinsic quality to make YouTube videos. I mean, that could change in time or something, but I could tell you, like, I watch a lot of YouTube videos and shit like that, and I've never felt, like, inclined to actually call or contact or anything, So that makes you very special. That someone from New York City chose you to actually contact. I mean, that you probably put a plaque or something on your wall and have your neighbors worship it or something.
You really think you're carrying this conversation?
Well, you finally got a joke that I said.
Absolutely.
I was able to dummy it down enough so that you can catch it.
No, what got me is you think you're carrying this conversation. And the reality is, you really don't shut the fuck up sometimes, do ya?
Well, then I'm obviously carrying it because I don't shut the fuck up, and I'm probably talking 90+% of the time. It's like I'm Conan and you're that guy who sits next to him that no one fucking knows. What, Andy? Is that his name?
Who?
The Conan O'Brien show.
Oh, I don't watch that dipshit.
Huh?
I don't watch Conan O'Brien at all.
I don't watch it either, but he does have a show in the cable universe somewhere, right?
Don't know, don't care.
You never accidentally, like, fumbled upon it?
No.
Do you have cable TV?
No, I don't. That's too much money for only the few shows I actually watch.
Okay. Well, anyway, so, all right, like Johnny Carson and Ed McMahon?
Yeah.
I'm like Johnny and you're Ed.
Oh.
Someone's got to be the driver, someone's got to be the passenger.
No, it's just maybe I'm being very courteous and not saying, hey, Scott, shut the fuck up for a second. Let me talk.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, that's cool.
Go ahead, you got the floor.
Oh, wait, thank you for your permission, Mr. New York, gracious God. I'm bowing at your feet, since you're more worthy than I am.
I don't need about my feet. When I was in Cleveland, I had more than a lifetime worth of people do that to me already.
Yeah, they were fucking. They were probably fucking laughing and rolling around laughing at your ass.
I think that they were. One of them was trying to scrape the mud off the bottom of my shoe because they thought it could actually be New York City mud. They wanted to like put it in a tube or something and put it like in their living room, like on a mantelpiece or something.
It's more like ass mud, since New York.
Whatever, if it's from New York City, they wanted it.
Right, there's so much shit.
Oh, can I touch you? What's the Empire State Building like? Does it look like it does on the TV?
Oh yeah, New York City. That's where everybody wants to be.
Well, once upon a time, but not anymore.
Yeah, everybody. Fuck it. You know what? From now on, there's no more Ohio. There's no more California or Miami or. It's just gonna be one giant New York City.
I don't know about that because I don't know how much audience could support Broadway. I don't think there'll ever be anything like Broadway anywhere else. Broadway is Broadway.
On Broadway.
The streets that Judy Garland and Helen Hayes and all the great legends of screen paved. I mean, you get Broadway, I would say, quote, Broadway productions, end quote, traveling shows, which are basically one step up from high school productions of shows. And you're like, oh, we fucking saw Phantom of the Opera at the Cleveland Theater yesterday, and so wow, we don't need to go to New York and go to Broadway because we saw a traveling production of Phantom of the Opera. With probably a bunch of people, probably half of them from fucking India and the other half from the fucking Philippines, working minimum wage through that fucking production.
Well,
I went to like a traveling production of some dumbass Broadway show. I think it was Camelot in Minneapolis, just to see how bad it would be compared to the Broadway one. And I'm telling you, save your money.
I hate to bust your ego and bust your balls, but I happened to see Phantom of the Opera years and years and years ago in New York, and I saw it up in Toronto. And I tell you what, the Toronto version in place was a hell of a lot better than New York.
You're telling me the cast of the Phantom of the Opera in Toronto was better than the New York production?
Yeah.
And did they incorporate like fart sounds and vomit sounds in the Toronto production to sort of make it more to the local attendance taste?
No, all the farting and puking was in New York City or on Broadway.
I was actually at a Broadway show last night, and there was this weird bitch who was like kept cracking her bones. I'm like, what the fuck? That's like the second time that shit happened. Where I went to like a show, and for some crazy ass reason, have you ever been like sitting next to someone? I guess like for you it would be a diner, where the person was just like cracking like all the bones on their fucking body like continuously.
No, it only happened when I went to Broadway in New York City.
Oh, did it happen there?
Yeah, and I tell you what, I went to a fucking Yankees game there. Shit, mid-90s, and I tell you what, when I went to the fucking bathroom, man, it was like a fucking flood of fucking piss in there.
Well, that could happen anywhere. The toilets overflowed. But, we actually got a new stadium. Actually, the Mets and the Yankees have new stadiums now, and they're actually a lot more modern and nice. I mean, the one in Cleveland's actually really nice. I was impressed. The Cleveland baseball stadium.
Yeah, Progressive Field.
It was really nice. I enjoyed it. I mean, it was nice, new sort of modern facility. The one in Pittsburgh is way better. I don't know if you've been to one in Pittsburgh. Much more sort of attractive looking and quaint and better sort of environment. But the stadium itself is quite nice in Cleveland as well. Especially like for the monuments area where you can kind of see the statues and stuff of the retired players. But it was a nice sort of stadium, but Yankee Stadium and then the old Shea Stadium, those are long fucking gone. They're fucking like parking lots now. We got new modern stadiums, but any toilet could stuff up and shit like that happens. I mean, that's not the stadium. That's just fucking the plumbing issue.
Yeah, well.
And if you want to blame anyone, blame the beer merchants because they're the ones that are fucking making people piss like that. That's why, like, when I go to sporting events, I won't drink wine. So if I go to a comedy club, I don't drink. I'll drink wine. I don't really drink wine, but I won't drink beer because I'm going to watch a show. I want to watch a show. I don't want to fucking think about my bladder the whole time. So if I'm going to like a baseball game and shit, I almost never drink beer. Or if I go to some kind of event, I always drink cocktails, like rum and coke, whiskey and coke, something like that. Going back to like what you're saying, like Brittany in that conversation, I mean, she just doesn't have it like you do. You have a charisma, you have like a sort of a wholesomeness, and I guess probably a little bit of crassness, which kind of engages some of the viewers, which isn't really what does it for me. For me, it's more sort of the organic nature of you, and just sort of the wholesomeness and just being like the everyday guy, someone that anyone could sort of relate to on some level, and just the sort of honesty of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it's kind of like it started off exclusively as scam videos. Now you're kind of going to other things. And for me, it's kind of the continuation of the story. And when you have a sort of a sincere interest in the person, you're still interested in other things when they sort of branch out. But like I watched their videos, and for whatever you like her, and that's cool and stuff. Whatever reason you do, but I mean personally, I just don't see anything that would, anything that sparks my interest in anything that she would be doing. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, but see, there's a difference though, because I've talked to her plenty of times, like not on video and shit. She is she is an awesome female. I mean, like with me, I mean, you could kind of notice, from like the scamming videos I do, or talking religion. I mean, in a way, that's why I'm kind of, wanting to branch off from the scamming videos. Hold on, I'm going to drink my water.
Good. You better not touch that fucking Mountain Dew. I'll come over and smack your face.
All right. Okay, anyway, there isn't just the scamming part of me. It's like, yeah, fuck you, you camo fucking cocksucker, there's more like Rolly Mellow person that I am. And people might say, oh yeah, he's the scam guy, whatever. And when I can talk politics, I can talk prepping. I love prepping, and I love talking religion, and politics. I can talk politics, and they say, not to mix.
I don't like. I mean, if you like doing the religious ones, you go ahead. Sometimes I skip these hosts because I'm not interested in religion. Like when you talk to the Mormons and stuff. I mean, those are just like serious conversations. It's not like they get hostile or confrontational or something. So I like that. Those are exciting to me. But I mean, I don't really watch the religious ones very much. But other people like them. And I'm not telling you don't do it. Do whatever the fuck you want. But for me, I don't like religious subjects of any sort.
Yeah, but I like Brit.
But for me, the best shit is the scam stuff. And I know like you're a pretty smart guy because of the way you were able to. And I know like you have some knowledge on different things, the way you think about different things. It shows that you have some intelligence. I mean, sometimes you dumb it down a little bit with some of the fart jokes and stuff like that. Whatever, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But I mean, it has like a real charm to it, and it's funny, and the way you sort of play off the scammers. I mean, you just know all their shit, backwards and forwards, and it just to see how they sort of play out is fascinating. And I don't think that she could really, watching some of the fucking videos or the videos that she sort of described, I just can't see her sort of, rolling them out like you do.
Yeah, well, like anything, like when I started, I mean, back in the day, I did like delete a lot of my videos that were like really shitty.
What does she do for a living?
I think she
does?
Well, she's more kind of like a housewife, but what she what she does too is I think is really commendable. Excuse me. She like does like pet rescues or animal rescues and shit like that, which I think, because to me I'm an animal lover. I mean, I'm not a big cat person. As you can tell, I'm a dog person, but with me, like I was trying to tell before, the conversations I've had with her off like camera or whatever, she is a very, very intelligent person, especially when it comes to animals and shit like that.
Yeah, see, I based upon what I've seen her do on videos, I have a very different assumption about her. I could be wrong, but watching the videos and her conversations with you, I'm getting the feeling that she's a pretty dim person. But obviously you've had more conversations with her. Maybe if you have conversations with her about certain things that she has a real interest in or better understanding of, maybe she comes across better. But I was like watching some of those videos, and I was like, oh, like this is just dull.
Yeah.
And I didn't really see much rapport when she's like interacting with you. I mean, it didn't really, it didn't fly as far as I'm concerned.
She is a very, very cool and very intellectual person. Because, like, I mean, I've talked to her not only about, pet rescuing. I mean, we've had, like, a lot of different conversations and shit like that. Politics, the weather. Because I'm into, natural disasters or, she lives in the.
My house is a fucking natural disaster. No one cleans this shit up.
Yeah, she lives out like in Tornado Alley. So we talked about, natural disasters. Like the tornadoes compared to. With the last couple winters.
So you want to give up your dog and send it to Tornado Alley? Isn't that like giving your dog a death sentence?
Nah, I was joking around. I would never give up my dog, never. She's my little...
That's good to know, because if I were your dog and I understood what the fuck you were saying, and I knew that you were talking to this girl about taking my dog who lives in fucking Tornado Alley, I'd fucking run away.
No, I mean, yeah, because, like, I know there's, that's why, like, with me, like, with our conversations, yeah, we bust each other's balls, but, we know when, like you said, playing off each other, there's time to bust balls, and there's other times where you have, like, a serious, in-depth conversations, where, you could, instead of just saying, oh, yeah, this guy, so he's a real ball buster, or a real fucking jackass, smartass, but then again, when you have that intellectual conversation where you can hold a conversation about different things, like, hey, damn, at first I thought, like Brittany, I thought she was just like, kind of like a goofball, whatever. But when you actually get to know this person, it's like, hey, I have a different perspective of this person. You know what I mean? Because I know I bust your balls a lot. It's like, hey, can I get a fucking word in here, But, that's just, playing off of each other, whatever. But she's an awesome female. I mean, and that's why I'm trying to, tell her, hey, that's why we've talked. And, she wants to do scamming videos, which is great. But then again, it's like over time, you have to learn how to play off these assholes. And
I think she should try to do it, like, privately before she fucking starts making some videos, because she needs a lot of fucking work. I mean, some people you could see the potential. You could see, like, the sun coming up on the horizon. I just don't fucking see that with her. I mean, I don't know. To me, I mean, the conversations I saw with her are not particularly interesting or smooth.
See, like with her though, she has something, a couple things going for her in a way. Now, just hear me out for a second. One, she's a female, and she has that kind of like that bubbly, like, how can I say? Since she does have that kind of like that bubbly, like airhead kind of persona, they might want to, if the scammers do call her, hey, she's a stupid, chick, ha ha ha.
Yeah, I've never been on a fucking YouTube video where they didn't have a female who couldn't speak one of these Indians on the fucking phone, and she said oh, I was on the phone, and he was basically didn't want to talk to me, he hung up. So, I mean, I see all these videos with female, and all they want to do is talk about licking their pussy and having their dick sucked. So why the hell she can't get a scammer to fucking talk to her? I mean, that's a red flag right there.
Yeah, but like with her, like with over time, because like with me when I first started doing them, I used to watch, like I mentioned, that Butch Drive Shaft, and other ones that are kind of like that. It's like, hey, listen here, you cocksucking onion dick, fucking help me out. It's kind of like that loud, kind of persona thing. And that's, there's plenty of times where I didn't have a computer to do it, but like over time I got to where like I am today. I mean, I'm not saying I'm like the best scam guy on the internet, but it's like I'm getting better, and that's why sometimes I say, hey, I know this wasn't the greatest one, or if anybody has some advice, hey, fucking let me know,
Should I give you a lot of advice? Will you read my comment?
Yes,
Why don't you come up with a better fucking stage name when you call these people? Stop going with the one you were using. They fucking know who you are.
Well, that's why I've been saying lately. That's why I've been.
Porn star. I gave you a couple.
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna
Pick a male porn star name.
Yeah, John Holmes.
John Jeremy or Dirk Diggler or something fucking like that.
That's why.
Funny, something with a Rockefeller or a Longchild or Longfellow or some shit like that. It's Gerald or Kennedy. Something weird.
Yeah, that's why it's the one video when I think it was like some Asians I talked to. That's why the one video I did, I said my name was Guy Jing, like for Guy Jing,
Guy Jing foreigner.
Yeah, and it's like.
It's for foreigner. I lived in Japan for 2.5 years.
So that's why, once in a while, like the one I did earlier, like when you called out, I was doing one, and my name was like Alex Jones, and it's like, I don't know, it's like, this point, did you see the one yesterday where I got hired from those guys or whatever?
I don't think so. I didn't get through all of them. I've been so busy with my wife.
Yeah, well, the one I went through, and it was one of those government grant things, and I kind of busted his balls about it. He's like, oh yes, like $9,000. I'm like, don't tell me, I have to go down and give you $500, and you'll refund it back within.
When did you post that?
Yesterday, I think.
Okay, I have to check it out. Basically today, the last one I saw was basically you outside with your dog, and then I saw the most recent one that you posted when you were talking to her, and then you were talking about, hey, go to her website and check out her videos. I'm like, this is a fucking waste of my time, and it's boring as hell, and I'm just not enjoying this. And I, pretty much flipped off, and then got a call from you.
Yeah, but what's cool though, the way I look at it too though, even if it might be like a boring video, because I make some boring ass fucking videos as well.
You mean those testing ones?
Yeah. Yeah, but you know what I mean? But like, what if we all, like, hey, if somebody's gonna try it too, you know what I mean? It's like, with only having like 4 subscribers and not a lot of views, people are going to just say, fuck it, I'm not going to do it.
Do you have?
I have 425.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's okay, but, I want to have, that's one thing that pisses me off, like like we talked about before, some of these like scam videos, I mean, with the animations and bunch of fucking lame ass fucking videos, they have like 50, 60, 70 fucking thousand fucking views and shit.
So you know what you gotta do? You gotta advertise on their fucking website. Like in their comments section, put links to your videos, and then people will see your videos. You understand? Like, put, hey, I'm doing scam videos. Please check me out. Here's a link, or here's my, Irish Buddha thing. Check me out. Go to some of those, the ones that are getting more views, and put links in the comments section, and then people will come across yours, and then your subscriber base will go up.
Yeah, because that's I think it'd be cool.
I actually used to do marketing in Korea for a 5-star hotel, so I know a little bit about marketing. I'm too fucking lazy to do anything right now, but I can tell you that the smart thing for you to do is go to those videos of other scammers that are getting scam videos that are getting more views, and post links and just put notes like, hey, check out, make sure you pick a good one. Say, check out my video, put a link to it. And then a lot of people will check the link because they're bored like me and they're just checking out scam videos and they're listening to it. And there's a good chance they're not accidentally going to stumble upon yours. And they'll watch it and they'll think, hey, cool. And they'll start subscribing. I guarantee if you start doing that, you'll see your subscription base go up a lot.
Yeah. See, that's the one thing, too, is, though, I gotta, after, in a little bit, I gotta go back, because that's what I was going to plan on doing today, is, like, contact some of these other fucking websites, because I don't know if I told you or not, some of my videos are on, like, other fucking websites and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, like, kind of pissing me off, because, I mean, I don't know about the YouTube policy or whatever, of, like, how people are going...
You didn't copyright it, so you have no claim.
Well, in a way, are you familiar with copywriting or whatever?
A little bit.
Well, I mean, I'm not an expert at copyright, but, posting something, it's, I guess, technically YouTube's property. And
you post it on YouTube, but it's not YouTube's property. Basically, people could pretty much do whatever they want if it's for a non-commercial purpose. If I see a video of you, and let's say I'm doing a documentary for school, I can take your video and I can use it without your permission. But if I'm using you on a Coca-Cola ad, then I need your permission. It's considered public access. It would be the same thing as me with a video camera filming in the street. So you actually don't have any claim. Unless they are like using your images to sell something, you have absolutely no claim. If they want to post links to your videos or put it on their websites and stuff, you post it on YouTube. YouTube is considered a public marketplace of videos, and they could do that. The only way they couldn't do it without your permission or authorization if it was for commercial purposes. If your video was being used in a movie or an advertisement for a product, something like that. If it's not, they have every right to do so. Trust me.
But in a way, I think it's pretty fucking cool that people took the fucking time to, make a website and everything, and took the time to fucking take my videos and put it on their fucking website. In a way, that's
that's an opportunity for you to get exposure as well. I think it would kind of work for your benefit. Doesn't seem to be really, but as I said, you should basically advertise or get your links on popular scam video sites. But of course, I mean, if you want to really attract the larger mass media, the guys who are getting the big numbers, they've got like funny animation and shit. Like one of my favorites is like Onage Pranks. I don't know if you've seen it. It's like this guy that is amazing. He does like all these like voices. He can do like a Chinese person, or a Vietnamese person named Buk Lao, and he does like a good black. impersonation, and he's got like an Indian accent as well. He's got like really amazing, authentic ones, and like he'll call, like Chinese restaurant and demand free fortune cookies, or like he calls up like some like Target and says he found shit in his Thanksgiving turkey and what they're gonna do for him. Have you seen his videos?
No, I think I might have. I don't know. I've seen like a lot of different ones.
Right, so he's getting like hundreds of thousands of fucking viewers, and he's making a lot of money. I mean, that's his job at this point, is doing this. I mean, my son, there's a guy who basically like posts his videos of him playing video games with jokes while he's playing the game, and I think it's completely uninteresting, but my son loves it, and it's got like millions of viewers, and the guy's, I heard, making $17 million a year. So, I think you gotta advertise more. You gotta promote yourself if you want to really boost up your subscriber base. And if things start kind of getting better, start getting more subscribers, maybe you want to make it a little more stealth. Maybe you will animation or something like that.
All right. How come you don't make any of these canned videos?
I'm fucking lazy. I could do a lot of things. I could actually just stand up comedy. I'm fucking hilarious. I'm a great writer. I could do a lot of things, but I'm just so fucking lazy. It's pathetic. I just want to do nothing, or do things like fucking substitute teaching, where I can just fucking sit there and put on a videotape, or do a focus group where I just sit there and eat some sandwiches and talk about how much I love hummus. I mean, that's just kind of the way I am. I've always been what they call an underperforming individual.
Or here in the Boondocks, we call people like you fucking slackers.
Yes, that's another word for it. I've always been an underachiever. I'm really fucking lazy. I can do different things. It's just I'm really fucking lazy, and basically, like I was working in Korea, and I was making good money in marketing for this hotel, and it was easy fucking work. And I was like, oh, all right, well, I'm gonna move back to America now because, I got my mother's apartment, and it's a big apartment and shit. And I'll go there, and I'm gonna get a job at like Louis Vuitton or Hermes in marketing. So when I said that, I'm fucking like some resumes and shit, and didn't hear anything from them. Then I was like, well, fuck it, I'm not even gonna waste my time anymore. And that's been my life for about the last 7 years. But
now you're gonna just pretty much be like a what the fuck's that chick on like what the fuck was that show? Married with Children? Yeah, you're a Peg Bundy.
You're like Peggy?
Yeah, you're a Peg Bundy. Just sit around and fucking eat bonbons and watch fucking Wendy Williams.
Al Bundy? You fucking work full time with him.
No, you said you're a Peg Bundy.
Huh?
You're a Peg Bundy. Sit around, fucking eat bonbons and watch fucking reruns of fucking Wendy Williams.
I think Wendy Williams wasn't on at that time. I think you're thinking of Oprah. She used to watch Oprah.
But I'm saying you are the new Peg Bundy.
Not at all. First of all, opposite gender. I mean, we're living in a society where it's still much more acceptable for women not to work than men. So I think people, society in general, is a lot more judgmental about underemployed men versus women. I mean, my wife's kind of, it's kind of grating on her nerves and shit. So my incentive to actually like sort of get off my ass and actually do something would be to appease her, more than anything. Plus, my son kind of gets on it, as well, on me as well. More and more, it kind of, you can feel it. So, there's the kind of incentive there. But I mean, I love my YouTube videos, and I fucking love, entering contests, my part-time work, and going to Broadway and off-Broadway shows a couple of days a week, and sporting events and shit like that, and going out and getting my healthy juice, and, it's, easier to do nothing in New York because there's so much to do.
You know, that's what I was gonna say. You're busting on Brittany a little bit. Let's see you make a fucking video with the scammer.
You see, the thing is, I would not want to contact the scammer because I would not want that scammer to ever call me back again. You understand me? I've done a few from those fucking Windows tech support random calls, but if I start calling IRS and these fucking Jamaicans and shit, I'm gonna be in your situation. I'm gonna have them calling me fucking 4 o'clock in the morning. My wife has to get up 6:30 in the morning to go to work. You think that would be fair to her?
Oh, that's why you called from your cell phone.
No, I'd rather just let you do the magic. I don't want to even be bothered with it. I wouldn't want those people bothering me or calling me. I got enough fucking problems with junk mail. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes if you enter a contest or you do this or that, the wrong people get your contact information. I get so much fucking junk mail. When I hang up the phone with you, I guarantee my inbox at least 10 of the messages that I have will be fucking bullshit credit card offers and insurance and medical alerts and all that shit. Guaranteed, at least 10. And that's a form of scam that is perpetrated into my life, without me having to do this. So I certainly don't want to open the doors any more than they already are. I mean, I'd love to do something like talk radio, but that's a whole bunch of fucking, I would like to do a little bit of talk radio, or I'd like to maybe write a book about something, but, I'm lazy. I'm not going to go out there and actually do it, at least not at this moment, because, it's just a mixture of fear of failure, fear of rejection, and not doing something. I mean, it's kind of weird because, I've been very successful at some things I've done in life, and I've been very unsuccessful at others. And I'm being completely honest with you because there's no reason not to be. It doesn't, to try to fool you or to give you, some kind of perception about me that isn't accurate doesn't do me any fucking good. I'm not trying to interview with you for a job. I'm not marrying your sister. I don't need to get you to think of me in a certain way. You know what I mean? So I'm just telling you, I've had jobs where I was very successful, weird jobs. I was a fucking bathroom attendant at Planet Hollywood, and I was so good at it, I actually ended up becoming a manager in Seoul, Korea. That's why I actually went to Seoul, Korea in the first place. I made so much fucking money as a bathroom attendant because I was so good at it. You ever go to a restaurant? I don't know if they have bathroom attendants in restaurants in Cleveland, but have you ever been to a restaurant that had bathroom attendants?
Yeah.
Okay, when was the last time?
Shit, it's been 10, 15 years.
Okay, so was that bathroom attendant sitting up or sitting down?
They were standing up.
They were standing up. Did he hand you a towel or something, or did he kind of let you get your own towel?
No, walk in. He actually turned the water on for me, then gave me a fucking towel afterwards, and offered me a mint.
Okay, so he actually does the job correctly. That's kind of the way I do it. I'm a little bit more, or was a little bit more. And I'm talking when I was I did this shit when I was in my early 20s and, in college and shit. And I was looking great. I was fucking a rock star. And I was making tons of money. Nowadays, you go into these fucking bathrooms, the guy's sitting on his motherfucking ass with a damp fucking paper towel he's trying to hand you when there are dispensers on the other side of the sink. I'm telling you, it's an art form that has dramatically decreased in quality, and that's why these motherfuckers aren't making any money. Because I know how to do it. I know how to work that hustle, and most people don't. I was so fucking successful at that job. And things are a little different now. The economy's not as good. I was making $500 in 10 hours doing that shit. It's even more sometimes. I was making more money than a lot of people I know just doing that. I was so good at it that they sent me to different places like London, Chicago to teach other people how to do it. And so I was a rock star at it. It's a stupid job. It's a low-class job, but I was great at it. But I went to camp. I was a camp counselor. I got fired after 2 fucking weeks. You know why? Because somebody spread some malicious rumor about me because I was gay, because I was thin and good looking at that time. You know, I used to go to the tank salon once in a while. I told you, like, I'm a little worried about my skin now because sometimes I used to get too much sun exposure. Remember I told you that before?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you recognize it. When I'm fucking telling you a story, there's a lot of consistency because I don't make up any shit with you. So I was, like, very conscientious about my appearance and stuff, always looked good. I was thin, I was in my prime. And I used to wear kind of, I guess, slightly tight-fitting clothes. Like, I used to wear shorts and stuff, and I was slender. I don't know why. You know, some nasty rumor started across that I was gay. Okay? And, which, of course, I'm not, never been. Never had an interest in it whatsoever. But whatever it was, some asshole spread this kind of rumor. So maybe like second week into the fucking camp, like I was hanging around, and this was after I finger banged like maybe 2 British girls who were counselors at that fucking camp. Okay, I was at some like pub. It was like somewhere in the fucking Poconos, I guess. I don't remember, the sports camp of some kind. And, you know, I was at this, like, pub, maybe Irish pub, I can't say for sure. It was a pub, and, you know, we went to a bunch of counselors, we took, like, taxis there. And most, like, the soccer coaches were, like, you know, from England. And, you know, people have been drinking, and this, like, really big, muscular, tough, like, British guy came up to me. And he was, like, very threatening to me, and he was like, I'm going to tell you right here and right now, if you ever touch one of my, I guess, you know, all the counselors had, like, you know, their bunks and stuff with their set of kids, right?
Right.
And he, like, came up to me, he's like, I'm telling you to your face right now, if you ever touch one of the kids in my fucking bunk, I will fucking kick your motherfucking ass like that. And I was very friendly with the other counselor, you know, because there were, like, 2 counselors in a bunk. And the other guy, I think he was like from Wales, he was like a friend of mine. He was like, yo, leave this guy alone, he's not fucking gay, I'm his roommate. He's already finger banged 2 women, whatever, you know, whatever. And he was like, don't tell me that, I know he's a fucking homo, and he was drunk and stuff, but still, he was like, yo, he was a big, tough, muscular guy, he could have kicked my ass anytime he wanted. Right?
Right.
And so I'm like, you know, what the fuck, right? Like, from that point on, because I, you know, there were like little things, you know, like there was like the police academy, and they had like the soundtrack, like when the police entered some gay bar or something, there was like a kind of music that was playing.
Yeah.
And so sometimes when I'd be like walking on campus, like I'd hear some people starting to like, you know, sound out the music, and I knew what they were fucking doing. So I quickly became very miserable at that motherfucking camp. Okay? So what happened was, there was this kid, I was like the field hockey instructor, and there was like this kid who was just a complete asshole. You know, he was like basically bullying and pissing off other kids. And, you know, he would sometimes make that sort of midnight blue music or something. And, like, he was like bullying some other kid, like he was playing hockey, he was like, you know, banging into them, hitting them, knocking them down, acting like a total fucking punk. And so I kicked him out. I'm like, you know, get out. You're not playing here anymore. Well, apparently his father was kind of rich and powerful and, you know, whatever. You know, sucked the right guy's dick. So the head guy of the camp, or one of his assistants, I don't remember anymore, it was a long time ago, said, oh, remember you told so-and-so he can't come here and he can't play? And I'm like, yeah. He said, well, you have to let him play. You have to let him come back. I'm like, no. I'm the counselor. I'm sorry. I don't want the kid dangerous. He's hitting other kids. He's a real piece of shit. I don't want him to play. He's like, well, sorry, it's not your decision. So he came back the next day, or maybe it was 1 or 2 days later, and he started like, you know, messing around with these other kids and checking them, and you know, being overly aggressive and hurting other kids. And you know, I sorry, that's it. get out of here. I don't want to see you. Don't come back again. And he fucking took his stick and threw it at me like a hockey stick. And it went like flying over my head. I mean, he missed me. It was probably a good couple of inches, but, So I fucking picked up that stick and threw it at him and hit him right in the fucking head. So I was fired right then and there. And, but, shit happens. So, some jobs have been very successful at, others haven't worked out as well. But hasn't everyone been in that situation?
Probably.
Yeah. And I actually got to get going because I feel like I've picked up my laundry and to do some sort of banking issue.
Alright, sounds good. I know my, Chewy, she's jumping around like she has to go outside, so I gotta go walk her. Yes, I do go outside, so.
Okay, well, just make sure you go one step at a time because that fresh air, if your lungs not used to it, it can, you could have a reaction.
Yeah.
So, just take it one step at a time. The first day, maybe a half hour to an hour, and let your lungs build up the fresh air.
Yeah, I know. They got pretty fucked up from last time I visited New York City with all the smog and shit out there and all the asthma floating around the streets.
Next time you come to New York, don't take your Cleveland smog with you. Leave it at home.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to improve the air quality of New York City or Manhattan. All right.
I think that plane flying over from Cleveland probably took over more than just you.
All right.
I think the planes coming over from Cleveland when they open up the windows and the gates to let people out, probably some poisonous toxins are getting into our air supply.
Yeah, just like when 9/11 happened, they were headed towards Cleveland. They're like, "Holy shit, better go back to fucking New York. We don't want to go."
Who the hell wants to die in Cleveland? Even the terrorist spots. Fuck, I'd rather die on my camel in the desert.
Exactly.
All right, I'll talk to you again soon.
All right.
It's good that you could open up to me like this before I was gone.
Okay.
You're a big man.
Okay, my fat ass is going outside to the smog, so.
Okay, take it easy.
Shit, I'll take it any way I can get it,
Actually, if you run out of mail, you might want to bring a gas mask. Maybe fill it with air from New York, just so you'll be safe.
Okay.
Take care.
You too. Irish Buddha out, yo.